Good day, sexy internet travelers. Bailey here, and today we are back with the 4th episode of Kuzu no Honkai. So let's dive in. So over the course of the past week, I have been absolutely dreading the release of this episode, but little did I know how absolutely ruthless it was gonna be. Watching this episode felt like I was being repeatedly donkey kicked in the throat. The episode dives into the mind of Akane Minagawa, and additionally, it explores the disintegration of Hanabi's adolescence. Last episode, we learned that Minagawa was indeed quite the greasy man-bear pig, but little did we know that she's not just a greasy man-bear pig, but that she's actually a narcissistic, sadistic, sociopathic man-bear pig. And now, one thing I want to reflect on right quick before we dive in any further is how notorious romance animes are for making the characters completely oblivious to absolutely everything and having zero emotional perception. Well, with this episode, Kuzu no Honkai demonstrates the delightful joy of having characters that are both cunning and perceptive to emotion. The episode begins by giving us insight into the mind of Minagawa, and she expresses the importance of feeling and being loved, and not just by others, but she also states how much she loves herself. And really, with just this sentiment, we can fully comprehend 90% of what Minagawa does and how she is able to do it. In this episode, we see how she manipulates Kanai's feelings without the slightest shred of empathy. And of course, again, the reason she is able to do this is because she prioritizes herself in satisfying her own agenda above anything and anyone. And in manipulating Kanai's emotions, she is killing two birds with one stone. First, she is satisfying her own desire to be loved, and secondly, she is simultaneously manipulating Hanabi. However, why is she interested in manipulating Hanabi? I think we can assume that Minagawa sees herself in Hanabi and wants to mold Hanabi into a reflection of herself. And again, this is still in line with her narcissistic nature. It is still about herself and making Hanabi like herself. And Hanabi is very much aware of this. Later in the episode, we see the personification of Hanabi's adolescence and the internal conflict present within her. She herself realizes that her nature is that of Minagawa's and that she is fairly morally corrupt in manipulating the feelings of those around her. We see this spirit-like personification of Hanabi's adolescence run off into the night, and I think we can say that with this episode, Hanabi has officially abandoned her adolescence. And I think it's very interesting how Kuzu no Honkai went about this, because often in society, having sex is talked about with the same sense as becoming an adult and leaving behind your childhood innocence. But Kuzu no Honkai had that opportunity for the past 3 episodes, and they didn't take it until now. And in doing so, they're emphasizing how entering the world of sexual exploration isn't tantamount to abandoning your childhood innocence, but rather that entering the world of moral depravity is the true sign of abandoning your childhood innocence. Which, unfortunately for me, means that I've been an adult for like 16 years now because I stole this kid's calculator in kindergarten and never gave it back to him, so I've been a piece of shit since day one. And there was this one small, teensy, tiny detail I left out. It's just this really small, insignificant detail. Probably doesn't even need to be mentioned. It's just this 4-minute, sorta, kinda sex scene with Hanabi and Etchan. Like, Hanabi, oh my god, what are you doing? You are without a doubt the most confused teenager I've ever seen in my life. You can't even figure out what you're attracted to. Men? Women? Both? Neither? Fucking llamas? Who knows? But actually, this scene is quite interesting because Etchan is under the impression that she is manipulating Hanabi, and Hanabi is under the impression that she is manipulating Etchan. So does that therefore mean that none of them are being manipulated? I don't know. This is all getting exceedingly convoluted. However, I think Hanabi's sexual preference at this point is a blurred line. We are led to believe that she is accepting this ordeal out of her sympathy for Etchan because of her friendship with her. However, I'm not sure this is the case because even when she tries to imagine Kanai, she just ends up focusing on Etchan. So I guess we will wait and see how things go next week, but without a doubt, they are bound to be bundles of joyful wonder. From Hanabi's sexual confusion to Minagawa's sadistic manipulation. And additionally, Hanabi is poised to wage war against Minagawa, saying that she is prepared to change into whatever person she has to become to do so, and by that, I assume she fully intends to emotionally and mentally destroy her. So let's all join hands in anticipation for what is sure to be buckets of fun and flower loads of smiles. If you enjoyed this review, please share, like, and subscribe for more. And as always, stay sexy, internet travelers. Oh, and I also just made a Kuzu no Honkai AMV. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, so if you decide to check it out, let me know what you think. Okay, thanks, bye.